5,285 pounds, the new 24RLXL Wildwood landing here at Wildwood RV. And this is a floor plan that's a good example of why we carry so many similar things from so many brands. You'll find floor plans like this from Cherokee, from Apex even. There's several brands that build something like this, and they each put their own little spin on it. Wildwood has gone through, they've given this thing an awesome amount of storage. Also the other little Wildwood goodies that really make this a standout brand. There's a reason that they've been a top 5 brand and growing for the last, I don't know how many years consecutively. Now, whether this one is or is not accessible with the slide closed depends on your definition and what you're willing to do to access things with the slide closed. Because this has an extra large dinette. The trick is, it comes right up next to the kitchen counter. You can go down the road with the table in the up position on this. Some dinettes you can't. And what that means is that if you want to, you could just do the watermelon crawl around this thing, and on the other side, there you are. You're in the kitchen. You can get to your storage, you can get to your fridge, you can get to all that stuff, the bathroom, the bedroom. Or alternatively, if you travel with that table in the down position, it's a little bit easier to do, but you still have to do the watermelon crawl. Alternatively, number 3, option C, you could put that tabletop like on or under the bed while you travel. And that would allow you to just do one step over this dinette bench, and then you are easily in the kitchen area. So again, whether it is or is not, it depends on your definition of things. And once again, that's why we carry different varieties of similar floor plans here at Wildwood RV, because they will each do something like this a little bit differently. And this floor plan is one of those right weight, right price, right size kind of models. Like, it's nicely, comfortably under 30 feet, so it gives you some easy towing. It's got great seating capacity. You will see as we go through, it has a lot more storage than you would think at a glance. And it has awesome window coverage. The problem is, all of these big panoramic windows, they're like directly facing the sun right now. So I prepared a little bit of a bonus feature for you. If you take a look, you can see starting at that slide side breeze window by the TV and wrapping around, this thing has just a metric ton of potential window coverage space. You'll notice how the slide side and sofa side windows all open for airflow. You got a breeze window for the kitchen area. I mean, it gives you just tons of coverage. It's absolutely awesome. But unfortunately, I had to pull all those down. But what's nice is you're really getting a good example of how well these roll-down blackout shades work. They work like a fox. I don't want to miss this, though. First of all, right up top, we have centralized air conditioning. That is an optional piece of equipment on an X-Lite Wildwood. You could certainly find this camper for a penny less somewhere. But that's a feature you're going to want, considering you have a separate rear kitchen living area, a walk-through separated middle bath, and a very private separate double door pass-through bedroom. You're going to want that centralized air. You know, this is definitely a floor plan where you don't want to get the cheapest version of it, I think, you know. Oh my gosh, where do I even start here? You can see that there's lots of room. But I tell you, let's just start getting some of the storage out of the way, because you're just going to get punched in the face with storage on this one, brother. And right away, bam, open that dinette and you start seeing the stow-and-go storage totes that you find in these Wildwoods. They make it so you don't have to disassemble half the dinette to get to it. Additionally, what's kind of cool, these are food-grade containers. So if you have like extra granola bars or something like that, if you leave them in the RV for an extended period, the container is not going to cause like heat contamination of the food that you put in there. Space for a little wastebasket there, and that little wooden shield you theoretically could take out to get a little more room, but it's kind of there as a protector for things like your water pump and whatnot. Plywood drawers, and you'll find that all of the countertops, whether it's here, beside the sofa, the dining, the bathroom, they're all a sealed edge pressed membrane material. That dish drying rack there for the sink, I don't know if everybody realizes just how awesome and beneficial those are. Up top here, I love the little things they're doing, like just throwing a shelf in that overhead cabinet to really maximize and crank the amount of space and storage that you have in there. But then if you look back here, you see that they're still including storage above the sofa, which is something that a lot of brands have started to sacrifice. And as if we haven't seen enough storage, just wait till the sofa gets in on the act. Because not only can the sofa flip up for like storage chest access, but frankly it probably won't even have to because it has a pair of like face doors with 2 more of those big storage totes that we already saw. These are different totes than we saw under the dinette. It has 4 of these big things. But what's kind of cool, let's say you're like, I don't need all those, I don't want all those. You can fold them down. You can stack them up. It's very easy to get them out of the way. And that's why I call this year's version of Stow and Go storage the superior Stow and Go storage, because it's better than what they were doing last year. Makes sense, doesn't it? And although this is really intended to be primarily a couples camping model, it's got some pretty good guest capacity as well. The sofa can fold down here, which is kind of handy, but what I want to show you real quick, the side stands we saw had storage. Remember, you've got the nicer countertops here, so if like you set a drink here during the day and it sweats, no sweat. But notice that you have household and USB plugs on both sides of this. And at this class, which is what I call a smarter class of camper, not like, it kind of does the essentials very well with some really smart features included. That's just a nice touch right there, having those in that primary seating space. Now over here, you see that big true U dinette can fold down into a larger adult-sized sleeping space. And this is another one of those times where those blackout window shades are really going to be beneficial, because like mornings like this, with sun barreling in through that window, there's pretty good chance you can, like, I don't even have that big panoramic window shade fully extended. You could actually pull that down a little further to make sure even that little sliver of light's not coming through to wake you up. By the way, just kind of realized, I didn't mention this, but that's an accent light over the side instead of the blue disco light. You know, you've got the something that actually just brightens the camper up. Some people don't like the blue light. Some people do. I think everybody just likes a brighter interior, though. Now, the entertainment wall over here, it has all your TV hookups and everything. They left it blank. The idea being here, it seems like everybody has an idea of, like, what's the best TV. And frankly, more people seem to have extra TVs laying around the house than ever before in history. So, I mean, I don't care. Like, if I have to go over to the big box store, if we need to find you a TV, I mean, that's the stuff we can do at Haylett RV. That's just not a big deal. But chances are you've probably got something you could slap up there and save you a bunch of money. Because we've really kind of found that for the price of a TV upgrade, and a lot of brands don't even offer them anymore, but the ones that do, typically for the cost of a TV upgrade, we could go pay a tech to install you a TV that we purchased from a big box store and still save you money, at least break even. Electric space heating fireplace. It takes the chill out of the air without burning up your propane, but it's also got LED visuals, which is very cool. You can turn just the visual aspects on without, heating up the camper. Bluetooth stereo, but it's got HDMI inputs, and you see how you've got that pocket right there if you want to add some things. You won't find floor vents in an X-Lite. You've just got a carpetless main deck here, and what is that called? Is that called herringbone pattern? I can never, ever remember the name of that. Doesn't matter anyway. Easy reach kitchen outlets over there on the just above the counter beside the window. And there is a command center on the cabinet side right when you walk in for easy access. And before we zip up to that bathroom, here's a big thing I want to talk about. That 10.7 cubic foot, 12 volt compressor fridge. Everybody and their brother seems to be jumping aboard that bandwagon. You can thank Wildwood for it. They were the trendsetters on this one. Every camper brand, they each have a neat idea, and then RV R&D doesn't mean research and develop. It usually means rip off and duplicate. They'll just start copying one another. Well, Wildwood's the one that brought this to the mainstream. They're not the ones who used it first. They're the ones who used it the most first. Just standardized across the board. It gives you far more cold storage capacity than we had before, and we have personally tested these things. They're legit. They cool fast. They freeze hard. I mean, they do exactly what they're supposed to, with even the most modest of like off-grid solar packages or whatever. They're very good for indefinite camping use. You've got this big 30-inch by 36-inch shower, and I mean, this bathroom, by the way, this bathroom rocks. Floor to ceiling shower surround, and the radius bar on top here gives us some great elbow room for taller folks like me. That bathroom skylight is actually an optional piece of equipment, amazingly, but we are going to add it every single opportunity we have here at Haylett RV. Now notice, instead of going with a giant shower, which, don't get me wrong, would be cool, they did a bedroom, bathroom split storage area here, and man, they executed it well. You can see those big doors. You can get an idea of the storage that's there. But you've also got tons of floor space in here. When you get out of the shower, you've got room to actually get dressed without banging your head into stuff. More cabinet capacity over here behind the toilet. Very handy for extra towels, toiletries. I mean, you could use, you've really got 2 linen cabinets in this right here. But you can see over here, we've got good counter space. It's more of that sealed edge protected stuff, but it's wide open. You have room. You can actually stand in front of it without bumping into things. Now, I mentioned that you have this big like cabinet storage beside the shower here. What they did is they reutilized part of that space here in the bedroom to give us this huge bonus closet. Floor to ceiling, hanging storage with an extra little shelf up top. That is just... that is absolutely awesome. As if we haven't seen enough storage. And here's the crazy thing. We're going to see more. This bedroom, they could have easily just said, nope, it's a small private bedroom and we're trying to be price conscious, so we're not going to do much with it. It is anything but plain vanilla. You can see how they have a full viewing window right there. You see the USB plugs for those side stands. You can see that little cutaway cubby in the bedside closet as well. And you might be going, well, what's the deal with that? Well, if you've already seen one of my videos, don't spoil it for everybody else, because this is CPAP storage. Both sides of the bed have household and USB plugs, but our household plugs are actually hidden inside of that handy little cubby right there. And what that lets you do is, if you are a CPAP user, it lets you keep it kind of out of the way, but you can run your hoses and stuff for your mask through that nicely trimmed out little cutaway right there, so that you're not going to like snag a hose or anything like that at the end of the night. Or while you're sleeping and have a mess when you wake up all soaked or whatever. But the idea here is it's even good for just having phones out of the way. Now you do have TV hookups over here. Notice that even in the bedroom we have full blackout shades. And like I said, as if we haven't seen enough storage, you have an easy lift bed right here. And if I back up, you see an alternate version of their stow and go system. You've got these handy little like dresser cube organizers here right under that bed. And then you have like an extra little shoe garage for it. I mean, every space of this was just really considered. Every nook and cranny was, given attention. There was nothing overlooked. There was nothing taken for granted here. Below that bed, we find a big pass-through cavity that's easy to access from inside if you want to, thanks to those handy gas struts on the bed deck to make this easy lift. We kind of saw those inside when we were looking at the stow and go storage anyway. Now over here, it's just really nice that they keep the pass-through clean, and they actually give you dedicated spaces to hang things like your jack cranks, but also there's that little guy. That's a drill bit adapter for these heavier rated corner jacks, and notice how they're angle mounted. They have done a lot here to enhance the stability of this camper at your site. So they've angle mounted the jacks to take a lot of the wiggle jiggle out of it. They've given you heavier weight ratings. They've made it easier to put the jacks up and down with a little drill bit adapter. And then they've added the JT Strong Arm Banana Yellow bars right here. Those things, in conjunction with the stable steps that you'll see as we back up, make this thing rock solid at a campsite. And that big compartment is perfect should you choose to utilize that simple side mount solar prep plug right there. It's easy to get in and out of those compartments because they are, magnet hatched. And in case you're wondering why I'm taking a weird angle on this thing, it's because we got some beautiful, wicked sunlight pouring over the top of this thing right now. Up front, like almost anything, we have power awning, power tongue jack. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about that. You can clearly see they put a nice shell cover over our propane tanks here. I like that they give you the little access port to get to the bottle knobs. But back here, a handy battery disconnect, so that when the RV is in storage, you don't have parasitic load eating the battery live. Or, I mean, if you think about it, you got that big, awesome 12-volt refrigerator. You don't want that eating the battery. You know, if you've got a side mount solar prep panel, you can camp pretty much indefinitely with that refrigerator because it only draws about 3 amps, and those side mount panels tend to recharge about 9 or 10 depending on the panel and, of course, how much sunlight you get. But when you're not refilling your battery via that little solar panel or park power, well, naturally you're going to drain the battery. Now, one thing I want to show you here, like there's a black tank flush, that's neat. I want to get under here because there's a really interesting thing on these X lights that a lot of people miss. A lot of people are going to say, well, somebody told me I need to get one with an enclosed underbelly. Does this have that? And no, X lights do not, full Wildwoods do. However, hear me out on this. It still has protected water lines, and that's usually the thing most people are actually concerned with. They actually run the water lines through the insulation in that thick floor construction, and they always have, and that means that those water lines are protected. They also put all of the joints of the water lines above the floor line, which is the same thing a Keystone Montana does. So it has, technically speaking, no, it's not an enclosed underbelly, but it's still a protected water system. And they did that without adding extra money to the camper. Really smart. A lot of windows as we wrap around the rear wall. You can see that backup camera prep. Also, this RV has plywood, 5/8 tongue and groove flooring. We have a fully walkable 3/8 roof decking. So, you know, if you need to get on top of this thing, take care of it seasonally, it's more than capable of doing all those things. Now, sometimes people are going to wonder why this big window doesn't open for airflow, which is a super fair question. The thing is, your slide side windows open for air. Any window that has an opposing sister, like your sofa side windows, open for air. Your kitchen opens for air. But that rear wall window, it doesn't have an opposing sister for cross breeze. So they made that one unobstructed for panoramic viewing. It's different. I get that it feels awkward compared to what you've seen for years in the RV industry, but it makes a lot of sense if you actually think about how the RV functions when you get to a campsite. So we already kind of talked about those stable steps, but again, power awning with lighting, of course, and that is an anti-slam door so that it doesn't, you know, flip open and cover the window of the kitchen unless you specifically want it to. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Good looking, light colored, awesome couples camping rig right here. And if you appreciate the information, the time, the effort that we've applied here at Haylett RV, helping you learn all about this thing before you've even picked up the phone to meet our team. All we ask in return is for the fair opportunity to work with you here at my family's massive 15-acre RV superstore, and you can see a literal sea of campers here to choose from. We have similar versions of this floor plan from different brands. We have wildly different floor plans from Wildwood and everybody else. Big, small, and in between. The only thing we don't do is hidden dealer fees. So if that sounds simpler, better, easier, give us a call, and it doesn't matter where you live, if you're near or far. We make it happen, ladies and gentlemen, given the fair opportunity. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.